I've been studying all my life. And the best teacher I have had was my experience. The most influential experience I had was during my travel. And the strongest teacher on my journeys was hitchhiking. Today, I would love to share with you my passion for hitchhiking and the lessons I have learned from it. And along the way, I will also teach you how to do it. Hitchhiking is a way to travel from A to B while asking people, usually strangers, for a ride, typically while standing on the highway with a sign and a thumb. Hitchhiking consists of 3 parts: preparation, wait and smile, and go with the flow. And let me explain it more in details. The first part is preparation. That's what any hitchhiking trip starts with. First, you need to decide in which cities you are going to stop on the way. It's rarely the case that you find a car which can drive you all the way to your destinations. Not so many people drive, for example, from Paris to Stuttgart. But you are much more likely to find someone driving from Paris to Brussels. And once you are there, you can find someone driving to Cologne, and then to Stuttgart. That's how hitchhiking works the best. And that's a part of preparation you need to do. Breaking your route in smaller parts. Another part of preparation is finding your way out of the city. You would not go by hitchhiking far if you start in the city center. You need to leave the city. It might be tricky sometimes, because not that many pedestrians need to go to the highway. So there are very sparse connections. But there is a platform called Hitchwiki, where hitchhikers are sharing this sort of information. So you just need to get the connection to the highway from the Hitchwiki. And the final preparation is wearing bright clothes, instead of dark or gray. It makes a big difference on the first impression you make, especially for the next step. And I will illustrate it in a bit. And preparation in general is also important in our day-to-day life. It's mostly about making plans. What I learned from hitchhiking is the need of having a plan B. It is essential in hitchhiking because sometimes a driver might bring you off from your route. For example, if you do not share any languages. Or the connection information can change and the scheduled bus to bring you out of the city got cancelled. So hitchhiking made me think about the plan B, which is awesome, because the life doesn't always go as we want, right? The second part is wait and smile. That's when you are standing on the highway with your sign and a thumb and watching cars passing by. It's really important that you keep positive attitude and smile at the drivers. And let me illustrate you an importance of appearance. Imagine that you are driving your car on the highway and you get to the petrol station and you see a guy like this. Would you take this guy? Would you give him a ride? And now imagine that you see another guy who looks like this. Would you take this guy? And now finally, imagine that you see this guy. You see, appearance makes a difference. And once I learned it, I realized how powerful a smile can be. It literally charges people with positive energy, even if they're just passing by. People were often showing me thumbs up, were smiling back, and were beeping like honk honk. And it made me smile for real. I didn't need to fake it. I was actually enjoying making eye contact with the drivers and sending them some positive mood. Once, I was taken by a family which had a small kid in their car. I guess when I smile, people trust me better. Hitchhiking taught me to stay positive no matter what, to see good things everywhere, and made me an optimistic person, which in turn made me elevated. And the third part of hitchhiking is going with the flow. That's when someone stops for you after some 40 minutes of waiting, and you need to decide if you jump into it. Some cars can drive you for a few hundred kilometers, but others for just 15 or so. It is important to keep going, so you should use an opportunity which brings you closer to a destination. Obviously, you should not get into any car. You need to be aware and careful with the drivers. Once a driver could not focus on me. I think he was high, so I had to reject his offer. But it happened just once, out of hundreds of cars which stopped for me. My favorite one was Audi TT, my dream car from the childhood, which took me through the whole Germany in just a few hours. And another part of going with the flow is accepting the reality as it is. Sometimes I was driving with really amazing people, but some drivers were quite boring. And sometimes we could not even talk because of the language barrier. Whatever is the case, you can't do much about it. You're in a car, so you have to accept it. And it taught me to accept things in my life which I cannot change. And going with the flow in general is the essence of hitchhiking, because not that much depends on you. You are just being carried by a flow of cars. It usually takes 2 times longer than with your own car. Sometimes faster or slower, and depends on many things, such as how early you started, which clothes do you wear, where are you. What is constant is uncertainty. You never know when are you going to arrive. So it works best if you got plenty of time and flexible plans. It usually doesn't cost anything. People are driving anyway, and doesn't change much for them to have one more passenger. I recommend to start from a small step, such as a trip to Uppsala. Hitchhiking changed my life. It taught me to focus on the journey, but not the destination. I learned from it that the path is more important than the goal. Before, I was always focused on my goals in sport, studying, professional life. The experiences of hitchhiking taught me to enjoy the moment and go with the flow. I used to take on too much responsibilities, but hitchhiking showed me that I'm just a passenger at this planet, but not the master of the universe. That many things does not depend on me, that I can take it easy and just do what I can without trying to fix everything. I have learned many more useful things from hitchhiking that I've got from 18 years of my education. I encourage each of you to try hitchhiking and let it change your life. Now you know how to do it. You prepare a plan, which cities to stop on your way, you prepare proper clothes, you find out a way from your city, you wait and smile at the drivers, and you go with the flow. You would be surprised how much you can learn from the road. You would talk to people you would never talk otherwise, such as a judge, or American rock band on Eurotour, or a Spanish type of bobsleigh going for a competition. You would forget about the time and just be in the moment. Because instead of making specific schedule, you would just go with the flow of cars and ride a wave of awesome people. So go on the road and let hitchhiking be your teacher.